Yo, I'm your host Suicide, and welcome back to Marginal. Now, the last time we met this lady that explained to Rain what this word was, technically, but we didn't actually see why Rain managed to stay in this world while the other girl isn't here anymore. But anyway, let's continue and see for ourselves. Night. The endless rain continued falling. While listening to the sound of rain, I was thinking about many things alone. In front of me was the girl, sleeping soundly on the bench. Just like the previous night, when she lay down on the bench, she instantly fell asleep. This way of falling asleep isn't normal. At first I had thought it was amusing, but thinking about how different she was at night, there might be a reason behind it. While vaguely thinking about this, the nagging feeling inside me changed to a big question. Could it be that she's been here since a very long time ago? Well, actually yes, she's probably been here for years or something like that, because the way she's used to this world is it's not a thing that you get from like a couple weeks or a month or something like that, because just think about it. She actually recognized the time as if as it was passing, when it was about to be dark and when it was about to when it was around a certain hour of the day, even if just not perfectly synced, but you know, just getting the vague idea just by looking at the sky. That's not something that you get from being in a place in this kind of place for like just a short time, so that's obvious. When we first met, I had thought about it, but immediately dismissed the idea. The reason being that she knew about elevators and modern world. Her clothing also seemed to be modern. However, we went to the river today and I saw the things that had washed ashore. If things from the real world could sometimes wind up here, then it wouldn't be too surprising for her to learn about or to obtain such things. And from that, the assumption I'd made earlier lost its foundation. If I misjudged, there was a chance that she had been here years or decades. So that was why I was waiting for her to awaken, thinking that maybe the girl from last night would once again appear. You couldn't ask her during the day, but the girl during the night might give an answer. I mean, it's not like they have a calendar, so tracking the time is actually pretty hard in this kind of situation. What's this? Sleep talking? While hoping that she would appear soon, I waited for her to wake up. If my reasoning was sound, then there was a possibility the girl before me had been here since a long time ago. That made me want to ask something even more. To me, this place doesn't seem that bad. Even if you don't eat, you don't die. Even if you don't have to be bothered by you don't even have to be bothered by sickness, aging, or even time. However, during the day, she said it was lonely. That because you can only eat it sometimes, it's delicious. That is joyful. Probably she meant that even if you could starve, there was something to be gained. I could understand in a way that what she wanted to say. To change one's way of stating it, in exchange for having no sadness, there is no fun, no happiness. It's a question of whether living without anything could be called living. Then, in the same way, could staying in this place be called living? Then, just what does living mean? That was obvious. It was to live, not in a world with nothing, but in a world with both pain and joy. Essentially, the real world. I had so strongly rejected it, and even thought that staying here forever might not be so bad. But in just one day, there was a small change in my thinking. According to her, this place was a timeout room. At the very least, I had a feeling it had the effect of causing self-reflection. While vaguely thinking about those things, at some point I drowsily fell asleep. Dots. More dots.
起きたみたいね。
No, it said that I fell asleep. What are you talking about? Before my eyes, she was sitting on the bench looking at me. Her way of speaking had already changed. It wasn't Rin that was waiting, but Rin, all
それで
caps.
どう？帰る気になった？
No. Just a bit.
そう。ここにいればそう思って当然よ。
I nodded slightly at her words. I have this feeling that I'm starting to understand why you had called this place a timeout
お
room.
めでとう。優等生のようで私も安心したわ。じゃあまだ残り時間もあるけど、明日には帰ってくれるかしら。
No. No, I plan on staying just a little bit more. Yeah, just if he's going to be sent back anyway, what's the point of, being like going back right now? There were things that I wanted to know more about, and besides that, there was another reason.
別に構わないけど、ただ強制的に返されるよりは自分の意思で帰った方が心象も良くなるかもよ。
Make it seem better? What does that mean? It's like the difference between turning yourself in or being arrested. Just what was the difference? I mean, turning yourself in is both a way to get at peace with yourself, and also it's reflected in the trial once they give you the punishment. The fact that you turn yourself in, it's in most cases just they give you they take it into consideration when giving you a number of years of jail or if something like that. But that's not the point in here, I guess. And plus, seem to whom?
悪い。聞き流して。深い意味はないから。
Saying that, she feigned innocence. But from her words before, I had the feeling the reasoning I had was fairly close to the truth. There was a chance that she had been here for a very long time, a few years or even a few decades. And in comparison, myself and others go back after 3 days, and by force too. Yet, despite that, she constantly urges me to go back. And that thing about seeming itself seemed to hint at it. Putting all these things together, it led to one answer. Could it be that you're God? No. You couldn't be more wrong about it. I mean, let's think about it rationally for a second. She stayed here instead of going back. This is probably because she okay, if this is actually a timeout room, it's about being isolated for the sake of thinking about your action or whatever, and then once that time passes, you're free and you should theoretically have thought about it and I don't know, repented for that. But in her case, she had no place to go back to anyway, so she's probably remained here for I don't know like how, but probably for that reason. And if she probably doesn't have anywhere to go back to, so if this guy has the same experience as her and decides to stay here and somehow he actually manages to stay here, that means that she has to go back because as she said, this place of isolation, so there can only be one person, but there can be two people, but only for a limited amount of time. And that's probably why we don't see the other girl here anymore, I think. But she said that that other girl, I don't remember her name, she said that like she was in charge of this place or something like that. And I'm not sure about it, and I might be completely wrong, but isn't that the girl that the protagonist saw while boarding the elevator? Like the one that talked to him, and she's probably the one that actually brought him here. But that wouldn't make sense because she didn't know this girl in the first place, right? Because she came in because she was in the mountains and something, and when they met they didn't know each other, so that's probably not it. And I'm just like making assumption, I guess. Or maybe an angel, or you're not something that's here to make humans like me reflect on what we've done. Thinking about this way, it all seems to fit. It's true, right? Your job is to tell people who come here to be sorry for their actions. No, absolutely not.
残念ながらただの人間よ。
Huh? Really?
それもいつまで経っても反省しない落第生ね。
Yep. So that's probably the reason why she didn't actually go back, or she wasn't sent back, because she hadn't felt sorry or whatever. If I were to believe those words, then she wasn't an agent of God, but a human like me. And also like myself, she had come to this timeout room. Then why is it that you weren't forced to go back?
だから言ったでしょ。私は落第生だと。
Had to repeat the class, so that would mean that she wasn't sorry. Yeah, that's probably what I was saying before. But weren't you sent back whether you were sorry or not? Or was she special and that didn't work on her? There were many things that I didn't know, but a few were certain. That she was just like me, a human that had come here. That she had no intention, that she still had no intention of being sorry. Yeah, that's probably because she, like the reason why she wanted you to go back so strongly. Because if you happen to not want to go back, it might mean that she has to go back in some way or another. And that she had probably been here for a long time. Just how long of a time could she have been here? Hey, since when have you...
もう忘れたわ。
Yeah, as I said, it's pretty hard to track time in this place. And that was all that came back. I had still been in the middle of asking.
もう寝るわ。
With that, she immediately lay down on the bench. Huh? Wait a sec.
言っておくけど、昼間の私に何を聞いても無駄よ。
Yeah, we figured that out. But that means that the nighttime Rin is conscious about the daytime one. I mean, probably the nighttime Rin is obviously the closest to the Rin like before she came to this place. So the daytime one is probably something like a self-defense mechanism that she created to be able to continue living in this place, I think. Rain continued without end. If it continued to fall from that pitch black sky, mixed with the za sound of the rain, I thought I heard a gentle sound of her breathing in her sleep. The next day, once again I got up while rubbing my eyes a little. Phew. Yeah, my back is hurting just a bit. Apparently, even if you were eternally young and immortal, things like sensations were the same as in the real world. I looked over at the bench to see if that the girl had already gotten up and was in the middle of hanging laundry out to dry. Come to think, when I first came here she had been doing laundry too. She was humming a strange tune, seeming to be in a good mood. And that laundry, there wasn't much you could think of as clothing. It mostly consisted of underwear. And there weren't many normal pieces of underwear. Instead, they were all, how do you say, mostly fleshy or sexy. Say, is there any meaning to doing laundry here? Ohayo. It's just underwear. Chill. She quickly grabbed all of them, even though she had just hung them up. This was kind of amusing, yeah, probably. But she knew that he was gonna be there, so why did she hang them in the first place if she didn't want him to see, and then she removed them anyway? You don't have to be so frantic over a few pieces of sexy underwear. Yeah, she said that already, that she doesn't really have much choice in terms of clothes. Well, of course, things that come here at random. Things that come here are random. She had also said that things you could put on were super rare. But really, is there any meaning in doing laundry? Since you don't sweat here, and the entire concept of getting dirty doesn't seem to exist. Yeah, seems legit. Saying that, Rin smiled happily. It was that innocent, bright smile that was a big difference from nighttime. That reminds me, there was something that I wanted to try. Hey, would you like to come together with me? To be honest, I had no confidence that this experiment would work. However, even if it didn't, it was definitely worth trying. As always, rain fell. From the pure white sky, small droplets struck my body. In that rain, we again worked side by side. I mean, it's not like it worked any way better when you try to use it on both. So, it's fine, it's yours after all. And plus, from what I experienced yesterday, that umbrella honestly didn't do much of its job. Yeah, seems pretty obvious. Well, even the parts that got wet only felt a little chilly, so it wasn't as if you felt cold or would freeze. While I walked musing about that, next to me, sometimes she would dop up. Apparently she was jumping over the scattered stone on the ground. Yeah, cause she has only one shoe, so it's gonna hurt pretty much if she steps on a stone. Cause I mean, he said that you still feel like sensations and pain in this world. Your shoes, it's not convenient having just one.
はい、石とか踏んじゃうと痛くって。
Yeah.
早くもう片方も来ないかな。
It was like the underwear. Wanting something didn't mean it would come. Then there was no way to know that what would come. There's just nothing you could do about it. Oh right, haven't I been wearing shoes since I've come here? Yeah, it's considering you are going to work, it would be pretty weird if you didn't wear shoes. It wasn't just shoes. Since I'd been headed to work, I was still wearing the dress shirt and slacks. Essentially, all the clothes that I'd been wearing then. Hey, why weren't you wearing shoes? Oh, that's where you're going. Why wasn't she wearing shoes once she came here? Also, that's not the priestess clothes, is it? That's just like a simple dress. Wouldn't she be wearing the miko, kind of like, I don't know if it's called a kimono too, but that priestess clothes, right?
私の場合は最初から裸足だったみたいです。
Yeah, probably because she was sleeping. Oh, right. No, wait. I mean, when she came to this place, she had been in the mountain, right? But because she had been in the mountain, she had been there because she was sleeping, and then she woke up in the middle of the night when they raided the place, right? But she, at that point, she wasn't wearing the typical Miko cloth, wasn't it? Wasn't she? Or was she? I don't think they sleep in that. So how did that other girl recognize that she was a priestess? Barefoot? Why?
さあ、よく覚えてないんですけど、よいしょっと。
So she doesn't remember, so that gives like more credibility to the things that I said before. Like this is just a fabrication of her mind, just to keep her sane, I guess. Saying that, she lightly jumped again.
でも片方だけでもゲットできてよかったです。
Well, think of if like she found another shoe, and and it was like another for the same foot. That would suck so much. And Rin gave me a bright smile. Seeing her so happy despite being in such circumstances somehow put me in a somber mood. It felt a bit bad for doing this without the nighttime version permission, but I hope that what I was about to try would work out. Soon we could see our destination.
ここってもしかして帰るのですか？
Nope. No, I said I wasn't, but I did want to try something.
試したいこと？
While nodding, I pressed the button for the elevator.
ドアが開いた。
It was the familiar inside of the elevator. In this world of aged artifacts, the familiar thing that drew the line with the real world. However, seeing it here didn't feel so much out of place, as it felt just impossible to describe. Afterwards, I just have to get on and I'll be able to go back. From all I've heard until now, that much I understood.
それで試したいことって何ですか？
Yeah, I'm kinda curious too. First, I want to make sure of something. Do you want to return to the real world?
現実にって。
So that's probably how she was able to remain here. Cause that other girl used like her door or like the hole to go back to the real world. Right? That's right, if this worked and she could go back, then it might be impossible to return. What? That's right, if this worked and she could go back, then it might be impossible to return. Oh, to return in this place, okay. No. Better to think that it will be impossible to return. That's why I had to make sure first. To stop living in this lonely place by yourself. Every day you can eat food, wear shoes on both feet. Stop wearing strange underwear in unfrozen time. Even read Jump every week. If you want to go back, then I'm going to try. I didn't know what the nighttime girl, or Ri in all caps, was thinking or whether she was here. More than likely, all the people who came here before me also treated like intruders that she ran off. Were also treated like intruders that she ran off. I mean, even if she did want to go back, she had literally no place to go, so... But the girl right now, I think the cheerful, honest Rin here, really wished to go back. Eventually, the girl who had fallen silent in surprise slowly opened her mouth. So she does want to go back. Got it. Then let's try getting on. Oh, together? The two of us entered the elevator. Upon entering and pressing the close door button, the door slowly closed. While she was being impressed beside me, I was watching our surroundings. No particular change. Maybe just getting on wasn't enough. Deciding that was it, I pressed a random button for another floor. But it's not responding? I didn't understand why, but no matter how much I pressed, the button wouldn't light up. Probably because she was on too. Right? Just what did this mean? I didn't ask what needed to be done to go back though. I had heard that I'd be forcibly sent back after 3 days, and I could go back at any time of my own free will. Then I suddenly recalled. Timeout room, that's what she called this place. So did it mean people who weren't sorry couldn't go back? But I think I've done a fair amount of self-reflection, and right now this girl here was wanting to go back to the real world. As my mind wandered thinking about it, out there was the familiar scene of rain, exactly as when we had gotten on. Yeah, looks like it. We once again stepped outside, and of course the boundless world of endless rain stretched around us. Who knows? I had replied vaguely to that comment, but that was probably the reason. From what she said that night, she has yet to feel sorry, nor was she even forcibly sent back. I had tried, hoping it would work out, but it seems that the problem wasn't with me, but with the girl herself. Thoughts. She'd apparently guessed that was what I've been thinking. Her face seemed a bit sad. I reflexively struggled to find some word to say to her, but in this case I didn't know if it would be words of encouragement or pity. Eventually, she lifted her downcast face
でも
and
まあなんとかなりますよ。
I mean, she does have a lot of time to figure out how to go back. Saying that and laughing with a cheerful voice, she hopped over a small stone at her feet. Being happy while getting soaked, holding a broken umbrella. Looking at her figure, you could say it was brave, or perhaps extremely saddening. And that's it for this episode, actually. I'm really enjoying this game so far, so if you liked it, you can always stick around for more. I'm gonna finish this as soon as I can. Well, that's about it. I've been your host Suicide, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.